the Echoes of Enlightenment podcast. Today we'll be talking about the isolation period that you have to go through during your awakening and how to navigate it. Today we'll be discussing the isolation period. The isolation period is people, places, and things will be slowly stripped away. And it's mainly for you to be able to get to know yourself a little better. Because there's been no time that you have just spent time with yourself. And what I've noticed so far, there's two that I know of isolation periods. The first one it's pretty much the whole time the synchronicities will still be going. But what's happening now during the isolation time is that your friends will stop calling. You'll pretty much have the urge not to call your friends either. Some of the places you liked going, you won't want to really go anymore. Some of the things that you like to do, you really won't have any interest in doing those anymore, for a while at least. So as a stripping down of all the things that you've known or that you were used to doing on a daily basis or on the weekends, you won't do anymore. Because you'll still have a lot going on, but it just won't be from the outside world. It's more of time for you to be alone now. And during this isolation time, it's tough because you're used to filling your time with different things and different people. You always have something to do, something to always keep you occupied. But now you'll be by yourself. It's a lonely time. Because you won't hear from anybody. No one, people that was calling you on a regular basis, people you would talk to every day or once or twice a week, you won't hear from them. You will barely hear from your family. Meanwhile, you're still going to work, doing your necessities, things that you need to do. Will feel a little strange because I already told you in the past episode that your energy has changed. So now you're by yourself. You go out, go to the grocery store, you come home. And what you'll end up doing is scouring the internet, trying to find out if there's anybody else that's been through what you've been through. This is going to become your new friend. You're going to watch video after video, podcast after podcast, trying to figure out what is going on. during this time, the synchronicities will begin to manifest through the videos you watch. They'll still be going on in the outside world, like going to the store, going to get gas on the way to work. But you won't see them as much because you won't be spending as much time outside. You'll be inside because you're trying to figure out what's going on. You don't feel right. You don't feel bad. You just don't feel like yourself because you're still adjusting to this new energy, which you will eventually adjust to. But meanwhile, you're trying to figure out what's going on. So you're watching you're typing in has the world ever felt like the Matrix? It's going to be a bunch of different stuff. It's going to be outrageous stuff that you're typing in. Because you're going to be typing in, or you're going to be typing in, describing what you're feeling like. And it's going to be weird stuff, but I mean, and then the craziest part is stuff's going to pop up and people's going to come on screen and explain or tell you their side of the story of something similar that's happening or that's happened to them. And you're going to resonate and you're going to be like, oh my God, that's exactly what's going on. Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not going crazy. So you're going to watch video after video. This is the isolation part. So all the people that you haven't talked to, because one, you will reach out to your friends because you're still trying to hang on to your old life. Or because it's only been like, it could be days or weeks that you've been going through this. So everything is still fresh. So you still don't realize that you're in the process of abandoning your own life, your old life. So you're still reaching back from time to time, making calls, to friends, realizing, that you kind of don't have anything in common anymore. I'm telling you, this energy is different, a different frequency from where you were before. So you'll be turning down offers to go to the bars because you don't feel that anymore. You don't even feel like yourself, so you're really not trying to add drinks on top of that. So during this time, you're still scouring the internet. And this is where you start to make your new friends. Your new friends will become people who are going through the same thing that you're going through right now. You're going to listen to story after story of what's happening. And that's one of the things that makes you feel not so alone. You're alone in your normal life, but while you're figuring this out, you kind of are leaning and relying on these people and reading comments and trying to figure what's happening. And the thing about the awakening and this experience is, it's not a temporary experience. Once you put these spiritual glasses on, you can't take them off. This is your new way of life. And it sounds a little scary, but as us being humans, we can adjust to anything. And like I said before, God will never put anything on you that you can't handle. It just might seem that way because you don't understand how strong you are. So during this isolation period, you'll even you'll be noticing a lot of stuff. It'll be a lot of things that'll come up within, within inside of you. You'll start replaying because there's no distractions right now. So you'll start replaying different situations with different friends and realizing, like, why was I taking that from that person? You'll come to a bunch of realizations of who your friends were and who wasn't. And the down part about it is, or the sad part about it, is that 95 to 98% of the people you thought were your friend or cared about you never really did. So there's going to be a lot of things that will be uncovered. And we're going to go deep into more of this stuff as the episodes go on, because all of this connects. I'm just separating stage by stage and just kind of breaking down a little bit so you can kind of understand, because once we get deeper into other messages, I'll be talking about this stuff as well, because it all goes together. It's just like cooking a meal. These are all the ingredients that go into the one dish. But you're just explaining with, oh, sugar is this, oil is that. So in this isolation, you'll be alone. You'll be figuring out what's going on. And this is going to happen for a while. And then eventually you're going to learn so much about what's happening to where you'll feel a little comfortable, but it's still not 100%. I don't think you'll be 100%, because this is a new life that you're beginning, and this is the beginning stages of it. But it's nice to feel safe, like you're not going crazy. At least it's still going to be difficult to navigate, but you know that this is happening to other people, so you're not alone. So that's the good part. And you're going to rely on all these videos and all these podcasts for quite a while, to where you stay stagnant in finding your purpose, because you're just listening and you're like following, and you're getting comfortable, but you don't realize that you're moving into a different you're moving into a different life, different purpose. So you really need to keep moving during this time. And during this time is where you're supposed to heal. And what I mean by healing is revisiting your past. It's time to revisit your past and heal old wounds. I'm talking about from when you're like 8, 6, and you're like, well, I can't remember all that back then. Well, you never stopped and thought and just laid there or sat there and just with things being quiet and just working on yourself, forgiving yourself for past experiences, forgiving others for past experiences. That's what you're supposed to be doing during this isolation period. But you don't really do that in the first isolation period. I think there's 2, that I know of. I'm sure there's more to this whole thing, but I'm just experiencing what I've experienced and sharing to hope, to hopefully help you on your journey through this. So what happens during the first isolation period, all you're doing is stripping away the outer, the people, places, and things. And you're at home and you're learning. And I think the reason why you learn is, or you're learning is, one, to keep your sanity, and two, to put you in a safe place and realize that I'm not alone in this situation. This is the isolation. So you're eliminating all the distractions. But you've actually created another distraction. And the new distraction is watching videos about what's going on, about awakenings and all this stuff. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine for a temporary moment. While you're getting while you're catching your footing through this whole thing. But then the second awakening comes. Well, no, sorry about that. The second isolation period comes. This is when it's time to close the laptop. It's time to put the phone down. And be with just you and your thoughts. And this is where the real work comes in. This is where memories pop up. This is where racing thoughts come through. And what's happening is there are no more distractions. You've not eliminated, but you've pretty much have been stripped down to just who you are. This is where you're beginning to remember who you are. And more you remember who you are, like I said, it's a new person who's been buried, who's been suppressed. So you're really getting to know yourself again. You're getting to see what you really think about things. And what places do you really like? Do you just like? Because one thing we didn't ever realize is how influenced we were. We've always been pretty influenced by our friends. Hey, what should I do to this? Oh, what should I wear today? Hey, where do you want to go eat? Where do you want to do this? Oh, I need some advice on this. I need some advice on that. Hey, do you know anything about? No, this is where all that stuff is cut out. And now you only rely on yourself. And really God and the universe. You're stripped away from all these outer things just so you can sit with God and see what God and the universe has to say through you, through your inner intuition. We have intuition. Our intuition is suppressed by Netflix, suppressed by Instagram. And when I say all these, I'm talking about everything under Instagram, all the videos, watching your friends, watching this, watching that. You never even get a chance to hear what your inner thoughts are. And there's also some occasions where you don't even want to hear your inner thoughts because you might want to suppress them. But to go through this awakening, you have to go through the things that hurt. And you have to heal. And the only way you can heal is by revisiting the old situations that damaged you. And it's going to be tough because you have to go back and stuff, painful situations that you were in that you just was like, oh, I just won't think about that anymore. That pain is still there. Just because you haven't thought about it doesn't mean that it went away. And it didn't go away. It's still there. You have to go back and you have to experience the emotion that it made you feel that you passed up. It's almost like putting a Band-Aid on something that needs staples or stitches, something that's major, but you just put a Band-Aid over it. So you really, like how some doctors have to go back and re-break a bone so it can grow back stronger because it didn't heal correctly. And this is tough. This is tough. It's super tough. And depending on how old you are, think about how many things we've packed away and never even thought about. And then we also wonder why it seems like we keep running into the same situations in like dating somebody or friendships or work or something. It's because we're not healed in situations. It's like a broken person trying to get into something that they're not ready for. Nobody takes time to heal. You have to heal. And that's going to take time and it's going to take courage. And when you're going through this, I would suggest you go out into nature, find a park that you like, find a hiking trail. Because during the second isolation where you're not even listening to the people that make you feel good, the people that you've been listening to for months, getting through the different YouTubers, the different podcasts that have been getting you through. You're not even listening to them anymore because right now you're only listening to yourself, the universe, and God. So connect to nature. Go on walks, sit out there. Because when I say go out there, you're not you take your phone for emergencies. Your phone will eventually become just a tool. Like if you need something, I broke something, I need to look up how to fix it. Then you're going to put it back. It's not like half the time you'll start forgetting that you have a phone. You'll walk out the house and be like, oh, damn, I forgot my phone. One, because you've broken that connection with it. And you're only starting to rely on yourself. And that's what you need at this moment. So when you go on these walks and go out to nature or go sit by the lake or go sit by just wherever you can go and listen to birds, look at the clouds, do that. And you will get tons of downloads. And what I mean by downloads is your intuition, your gut feeling, that thing that you have in your gut when you're like, oh, I had a bad feeling or I had a gut feeling about this. That's your intuition. You have to connect to that more. Than you have been on this journey because you're on a different mission than what you've been doing before. And we'll get into that on on a future episode. So when you go out to nature, don't take any earbuds. You're not taking nothing but yourself and your phone in your pocket for emergencies. And eventually you won't even think of your phone as this attachment that you have. You'll use it for work if you need it for work, but you won't even mess with it because you will find that you're entertaining. You'll realize that, like, my thoughts are pretty cool. I got some really nice thoughts. Some are hard, but you'll be like, I'm more wise than I thought I was. There's a lot of, you'll have, the person you are is really cool, but you just never got a chance to really see because of the external validation that you were getting from people, places, and things. But when you rely on yourself and you work on your healing, you're on your way to your purpose. And your purpose is going to be something that you never thought you would be doing. And the reason why is because your purpose is something that you've always been meant to do. But somewhere along that line, we got pushed off of our path and went a whole different way. And pretty much had to wear a mask the whole way through that way until you're awakening. And then that's when you're being brought back onto the path that you're supposed to be on. That's why you got that nudge. And that nudge is also from your spiritual team, aka your guardian angels. And I think we'll cover that on the next episode. And that's also where the synchronicities came from. It's your spiritual team. But I'll end this episode right here. Until next time.